you guys remember this. Just 3 years ago, there was a movie called The Great Wall, starring Matt Damon. It was a real movie. It was Matt Damon in ancient China fighting dragons.
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel.
City boy! City boy!
Bro, I remember that movie, The Great Wall. I actually went to China just to see The Great Wall. Don't come after me, government. I'm not a communist. I just appreciate, Chinese culture, specifically Kung Fu movies from the 70s and 80s, The Great Wall. And I was able to go to Beijing, Shanghai, Xi. I don't know. I went to like 4 or 5 places. It was fire on a Groupon. It was mad cheap because basically China subsidizes for these type of trips for foreigners to come check out China, to break some of the stigmas that they might have in the Western world. And I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed it. It was fire. I actually enjoyed it. I went on the damn light rail, the fastest light rail or whatever, bullet train in the world when we were in, I believe, Shanghai. Like, it was awesome. It was awesome. But again, I saw that movie. It's probably one of the worst movies I've seen in my life, I think, now that I think about it. It was so freaking I thought it would be dope because, like, The Great Wall, and I'm like a fan of, anyways. Yeah, I thought Tom Cruise was in it, but I'm thinking The Last Samurai. Yo, these motherfuckers, bro. How is Tom Cruise The Last Samurai, you guys? What are we doing? Matt Damon is the last fighter on the Great Wall of China? Lord have mercy. Anyways, this is Jimmy O Yang. I just discovered him recently doing reactions on this channel. This is my second reaction to him. Never heard him. Chinese American comic. But who gives a F about that? I just, in the first one, I was like, I think he's Chinese, but I was just keeping it real. Sometimes I get confused between Chinese and Korea. I can tell pretty much Chinese and Japanese apart, but I sometimes will get mixed up. Anyways, sorry. But I did get it right. I was like, nah, he's Chinese. And people in the comments, yeah, he's Chinese. Anyway, this is him. He is him, and I am he, and he is we, and we are they. Huh? Anyways, the real issue with Hollywood, Jimmy O Yang. Now, this is on a channel titled Laugh Society. Always want to show them love because I've been noticing that their clips are reactor friendly. So I just want to say thank you, Laugh Society. And hopefully I help bring people to your channel as well. But most importantly, support the original content creator, which is Jimmy O Yang. Make sure you're checking out his clips online, streaming his specials, and buying tickets to his events. That's super important. We want to support the original content creators. Reactions aren't a substitute for the original content. And let's get started. If you want to support me, like, share, comment, subscribe. Links to my other channels in the description. If you don't know who I am, I'm Black Pegasus. Let's go.
I don't know if you guys remember this. Just 3 years ago, there was a movie called The Great Wall, starring Matt Damon. It was a real movie. It was Matt Damon in ancient China fighting dragons and everybody spoke English. I was like, what the is this? But you gotta understand, I'm not mad at Matt Damon, okay? He's an actor. That's what he does for a living. That's how he gets a check. I get it. If somebody would have offered me a lead role in a movie called Mount Rushmore, I'll play the out of George Washington, you know what I mean? No shame in my game.
The DEI Mount Rushmore, that's crazy. This dude's dropping bars, especially for what time it is. I don't know when this dropped, but I'll tell you right now, it's crazy in America society, man. We wilding out in this bed. Yeah, man.
I'll play the out of George Washington, you know what I mean? No shame in my game. I'll play George Washington Carver if they let me. That's a black guy, by the way. I don't know. Gotta represent, man. I see a lot of people out here in the streets, they want to come up to me, but they're not really sure. There's a lot of debate amongst their friends. They're like, hey man, are you sure that's him? If we go up there, we gotta be sure, because if we go up there and it's not him, we're gonna look super racist.
I'm gonna keep keep it real, man. I kept it real at the beginning of this video. Like, for me, like, it ain't just hard to, like, you know, sometimes I see a blonde head white dude and it is similarities with, like, if you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just can't tell people apart. And people always say this about black folks. Like, I can't tell the difference. Like, you know what it is, man. But with Asian folks, sometimes I even struggle, like, differentiating between Chinese and Korean at times. But yeah. He looks like a brother who you could be like, yo, I don't know if that's him for sure because I seen someone who looked like him. Anyways, all right, let's go.
Go up there. We got to be sure, because if we go up there and it's not him, we're gonna look super racist. Are you sure that's not Ken Jeong? I don't know. Looks kind of like Ali Wong. I don't know.
Stupid. He's dumb.
And it come up to me, it's always like the first thing they say, like, hey man, aren't you that dude Jing Yang from that show Silicon Valley? And I was like, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am. And then they're like, I didn't even know you speak English in real life. I'm like, it's called acting. Like, did you really think Matt Damon was Chinese? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know what the disconnect is.
I didn't know he was in that show. I've never seen that show. That's crazy. Support his show, man. Watch the damn show. It's crazy because you know how to accent like this, an American English accent that you couldn't differentiate. I never knew this. The homie, is it Ralph Macchio? Is that his name or is that Daniel's son? Whatever. The homie who played Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was lit, bro. Like, he speaks crazy good American English. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know. My bad, homie.
Like, it's called acting. Like, did you really think Matt Damon was Chinese? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't know what the disconnect is. Like, if a white actor does a British accent, he's a thespian. He wins an Oscar. If I do a Chinese accent, I'm automatically from the old country. Representation matters, man. A lot of Asian people coming up to me, very proud, very nice. They're like, Jimmy, thank you for representing the Asians, man. I'm like, hey, you're welcome. But you do understand it's not really a choice, right? Like, when you wake up Asian, you can only represent Asians. I couldn't just wake up one day, I'm representing Nigerians today. I'm very proud to represent the Asians, but at the same time, there's so much pressure. Like, nobody ever went up to Matt Damon and be like, hey, Matt, thanks for representing the whites. Sounds weird. That's like a different conversation for some reason, you know? If somebody came up to me and be like, hey, Jimmy, I'm representing for the whites, I would leave that town immediately and never come back. So much pressure to represent. I gotta be a good Asian everywhere now. I gotta tip everywhere I go.
He's bugging.
That was...
Yo, he's bugging. And you know what's crazy is, like, it is interesting for me, man, because I'm mixed, bro. So when he said that, I was like, that kind of hit home because I was like, what do I wake up and represent? You know what I mean? Like, I've always just taken on my, you know, I've kind of left it. I've always taken on my black identity more so than anything, right? But as of recent, I've kind of just let go of that. I'm like, does this serve me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that, right? But it is unique because I got so much shit flowing through my bloodline. I actually have to wake up with a choice. Like, you know, I try to just be like, yo, I am a man. I'm a good man. I'm a good husband, good father. Like, this is, you know, the concept. But, you know, I'm a black man. I'm mixed with Latino as well, you know. Got a little Irish in my blood as well. So it's like, damn, what do I wait? Who am I today, man? I'm having an identity crisis right now, y'all. Damn, man. I'm black when convenient. Yo, son, let's go.
So much pressure to represent. I gotta be a good Asian everywhere now. I gotta tip everywhere I go. That was one of the major advantages of being Asian, is I can just pretend I don't know how to tip. Y'all know what a Chinese tip is? Chinese tip, it doesn't matter how big your bill is, you tip $2. That's a Chinese tip, man.
They make so much money. I didn't know that. I thought they'd be big tippers. I'm a crazy tipper. 20 to 25% minimum. It was 20%, And then when inflation went up, I started hitting them with 25%. I don't care where I'm eating at. You know, obvious not fast food, but anytime I eat out, 25% tip.
Now I gotta tip 20% everywhere. I gotta give every Uber driver a 5-star rating just so I can be a good representative. Everywhere I go, I gotta represent. Even day-to-day, even the bedroom, I gotta represent. After I hooked up with this one girl, this is what she said to me. She was like, Jimmy, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're the first Asian guy I've ever been with. I'm like, okay. What do you want, a fortune cookie? Like, like, what do you want? She acted like she just unlocked a new character on Street Fighter or something. Why do you feel the need to say that? This one girl said this so disrespectful. This is what she said to me after we hooked up. She was like, Jimmy, I'm just glad the stereotype's not true. You don't have a small penis. And I'm like, I understand you just insulted my entire race of people. But thank you. First of all, thank you for thinking that I did have a small penis and we still had sex. You're the real MVP. You get 2 fortune cookies tonight, miss. Thank you.
Yeah, he's snapping, bro. He's popping. He's good, bro. Holy sh. You know what's funny is that is one of the reasons I tip so well. What he was saying in there, being a representative. It ain't because I'm a rep. Yeah, man. I'll keep it real with y'all, man. That was one of my insecurities. Like growing up, the black identity. There was these stigmas and stereotypes. You know, like when you're in a store, I always felt like someone was watching me, and they weren't necessarily, but that was because stigmas and stereotypes that were planted in my brain that, you know, the cops are going to F with me. People are thinking I'm stealing and you don't tip well and blah, blah, blah. There's also good stereotypes that comes with being black. You know what I'm saying? Like you automatically have rhythm, a big D, like all these other things too, you know? So long story short, yeah, I remember always hearing like, oh, black people are the worst tippers. And I always wanted to break that stigma, and I'm always super generous. And the other reason was because I was a rapper, and at the time, this is before the digital age, I lived off selling CDs out the trunk, right? Pop the trunk, sell CDs, go up to people, try to hustle your mixtape. And the people that bought it, I really appreciate it. And a lot of people would just tip you. You're like, yo, I'm selling this for $5. They'll give you a 10. You're selling it for 10. They'll give you 15. Like, and that's where I was like, yo, I just want to be generous because I'm in this gig economy where I'm just out hustling my art and people are purchasing it in real time in person. And really, they're just buying from your personality. They're not really buying because they want to hear, oh, like they're like, oh, he's a struggling musician. He's trying to get off a CD. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's why I tip well. And he ain't lying. Anyways, that was Jimmy O. Yang, The Real Issue with Hollywood. Yeah.
City boy, city boy.